All right, guys, here's this 1994 OBS K1500. Uh, my dad bought this truck a while back, actually from my uncle, and he'd bought it from somebody. The motor was bad, so someone tried to build an old style motor and put in this truck. They had a cam in it. Seemed like some decent GM heads. I've got the motor down here in the back of a truck covered up. I'm going to eventually look at those heads, see if they're worth salvaging or taking off, putting in my garage here. The block had an issue. It had a rust hole in one of the cylinders, which was letting water into the oil. So anyway, my dad fooled with it and figured that out. He bought a motor for it and just never got around to it. As far as putting the motor in. And I'd sold that van, and I was kind of looking around for, I don't know, something to kind of piddle with. I always like to have something here to trade on. And, you know, I've got my 56 over there. I've got several trucks out here, but I don't know. I just like to have some kind of old junk to piddle on. So I bought this truck from him, the truck and the motor that he had, which is a center bolt, period correct motor. They had carbureted this truck. They had actually taken the metal plates or mounts that go onto the block. They had turned those upside down and welded them to the frame. I had to cut all that crap out and grind it all down pretty and smooth and paint it and make it look like it never happened. Shit like that drives me crazy. It aggravated my dad as well. And so anyway, I got all the little stuff straightened up on the truck. Got the motor put in it over the weekend. Like I said, there was just a whole lot of different things going on that the people before me had done that it just drove me crazy. So I had a lot of little stuff to fix. It was not just changing a motor. You can see I still got some wiring kind of laying here. This is just crap that they had. I did throw some battery cable ends on. I will pretty this up a little bit, tape that up. I've got a cover for that, this black cover here off of one of my parts trucks. But anyway, this is a 350. Came out of a 90s model truck at some point out of a junkyard. A little worry on the motor. Wasn't sure if I could trust it or not. I didn't know the motor, never heard it run. My dad never heard it run. A friend of ours bought it, and from my understanding, he never heard it run. Took the guy's word, and luckily, thank God, the word was good. So I took the motor apart. I resealed it, same old stuff. Oil pan gasket, rear main seal, front time and chain, or time and chain gasket and seal, valve cover gaskets, intake gaskets, all that stuff. The truck had been carbureted, so I was going to put fuel injection on it. I've got everything here with the exception of a good throttle body. I have several throttle bodies that I could probably build, but again, I didn't know nothing about the motor. I just figured I'd throw it together and try it. It would not be that big a deal to put the fuel injection back on it, but it's got a new Holley carburetor, and that thing is right. I kind of got it dialed in. I fool with a lot of carburetors, most of y'all know, and really, other than maybe hitting the gas once or twice when you first get in it doing a cold start, you would not know this is not fuel injection. It acts great out on the highway. It does not spit, sputter, stumble, nothing. It idles good. It does really well. I don't know that I'll fool with it. Maybe not. If the truck sells like it is, obviously I won't. If it doesn't, maybe I'll put the fuel injection on it and drive it for a little while. My daughter is in love with this truck. I don't know why. I think she's got a little bit of me in her. She just likes this old junk, and I really enjoy that. So anyway, the transmission. So the transmission is a new 700R4 built by Monster Transmission. I wish I knew this truck's backstory. A lot about the truck looks like someone has spent some money on it at some point. They had put ball joints in it, uppers and lowers, new transmission. They had done a lot of work to this thing, and it seemed to me like maybe someone had it, done a lot of work to it, and then someone else got it, if that makes any sense, because the work that was done on the motor, engine, whatever you want to call it, was very shoddy. I'll be nice and say that. A lot of rigging, A lot of bullshit that would have left you sitting on the side of the road. Wires cut, wires, twisted together with their fingers. The damn motor mounts turned upside down and welded to the frame. I mean, just garbage. But I got it straightened out, and I really like this old truck. I don't know why. I like the single headlight. I even like these old rallies on it. I mean, it's just I don't know. Kind of a utilitarian type truck, manual windows, manual locks, carburetor now. This would be an excellent hunting, fishing, camping truck, something to that extent. If you had an old boat to pull, garbage truck, just a really good old weekend beater, or a daily driver. This thing runs great. So anyway, I've about got everything done to it. I'm trying to get everything kind of rounded out before I market the truck or put it on the market. Looks like I've got some more rain coming in. We've had some really bad winds and stuff here, so I got to get this truck back out of here today. I drove it today. I set the shift cable. I screwed that up the other day. They had it kind of mounted to the carburetor funny, so couldn't leave it like that. I had to mess with it. That's just me. But the thing is shifting perfect, good and firm. I mean, really good shifting 700R. Probably one of the better ones I've ever owned. Sorry, guys. I wish I could have videoed myself doing some of this, but I had Mr. PIB's parts. They were supposed to come in on a Tuesday. I started on this truck Saturday, and the damn parts come in Saturday. So had it not been for a screw up with that, I would have never started on this truck. I want to get Moon Pie done. I want to get one of his other ones in here and get started on it. They've been here a while, longer than I care to admit to. A lot of bad weather, very, very cold weather, sickness. It's just been a rough winter, but it's starting to warm up. Of course, we've got the winds of March or whatever you call that coming in here. So spring's coming in. I'm going to get on his stuff and get it done. But anyway, I got the motor put in the truck and started noticing some other things, checking on some stuff. Checked the ball joints and things, and just luckily I kind of noticed a ball joint out of the corner of my eye that was just about to break. It's a wonder it didn't get somebody hurt in this truck. But anyway, all the other ones looked really good, and oddly enough, I had one new one here. Anyway, just as luck would have it. So anyway, I put the new ball joint in it just a few minutes ago. Checked the rear end dope. It was good. I've got a drain plug on the transmission pan. Like I said, this is a monster 700R transmission, and it's got a piece of plastic on the drain plug for a seal, so it's busted. It's dripping just a little bit of fluid, nothing bad at all. I'll order a drain plug. I want to clean up just a little bit more under this hood, some of this old ugly wiring and stuff, get that black cover put back on. Find a truck breather. I don't like that ugly breather. I've got truck breathers, so I'll put a truck breather on here. It will look original. I've even got the tube here, the plastic air intake. I've got most of this shit laying around for these OBS trucks. Got several of these OBS trucks. So again, I honestly had several ideas for this truck. I thought about putting it on a two-wheel drive frame. I thought about parting it out. It would have made a hell of a parts truck. Super solid. It had one place on the driver's side floorboard that had a little bit of rust in it. And so I took the seat out, the floor mat, took all that out, welded that up, cut all the rust out and welded it up. That was the only spot of rust on the truck. And, again, it was just from someone mistreating it. They had just let a bunch of dirt and mud and stuff, over the years. Just there was a little area there between the mat and the plastic piece that it just sort of trapped everything, and it laid right there, and it just rusted a little hole in the floor. But the rockers, the cab corners, the bed, the fenders, all that is super, super solid on this truck. The frame is solid. No rust in the truck whatsoever. Now, it's got some dents, it's got some dings. Obviously, the old paint's a little tired, but I got to clean it up, shine the tires, just pretty it up a little bit. I've got the interior fairly clean. The seat is dirty. I mean, it's clean. I cleaned it, but it's just dirty. It come out of a parts truck. I need one armrest. You can see my speaker wire laying there. I ran new speaker wire under this mat while I had it out of the truck. I put a factory steering wheel in it. It had an old aftermarket steering wheel that just did not look good in the truck. This came out of my 94 OBS. Mr. PIB has the 66 truck. That's the truck that the motor came out of. One thing about that, I'll say on this motor, this Centerbolt motor, this one had a hole for the fuel pump rod to run a manual fuel pump, whereas Mr. PIB's did not. So that was a little surprising that this motor had that. Usually, if you want to run a manual fuel pump on a Centerbolt newer style engine, you know, GM small block with the one-piece rear main seal, you have to drill out that fuel pump rod. Luckily, this one already had it, and the jig to do that's about $1,000. So if you're going to buy that jig, I hope you're going to be doing several of those engines to kind of recoup your money. But anyway, armrest, maybe a cheap aftermarket seat cover. It does not have to be perfect. I've got several of these that stupid key. I've got several of these plastic pieces. You can see this one's a little busted up there. I may throw one of those in it. The factory radio works. The old equalizer is laying in there kind of loose. I don't really know what's up with that, but it turns on. The heat works really good. The air doesn't work, but everything's there. I think I can get it working. They had this oil pressure gauge mounted under here, and it just looked gaudy to me. I didn't like it. I'm going to try to hook that one back up at some point. I don't know why they went through all this trouble and ran all this shit and did not just buy maybe a new sending unit for that original gauge, because all the wire and harness is still there, with the exception of the fuel injection stuff, which they cut. But I have all that. So we'll see. Like I said, I really like this old truck. My daughter likes it. It needs a windshield. The headliner is pretty pitiful. But this would be a real easy truck to just to kind of, you know, smooth out the edges and just drive it. It's just a good running old truck, and it don't look half bad. Maybe some Mickey Thompson, you know, polished aluminum wheels or something, kind of, you know, 90s correct. And just, you know, again, just smoothing out the edges. I think it would make somebody a pretty cool little truck. But here's this ball joint. So I just happened to see that kind of out of the corner of my eye. You can see that was pushing through. Very dry. I don't know, again, the story on this truck. I wish I did, because if I knew the backstory, Mr. PIB would probably buy it. He loves backstories. I do too, but I don't know anything about this truck. I think I may have found the guy. See how much movement we got there. That thing was just, I can't believe that hadn't broke. I mean, what a damn... It's stuff like this, guys. You don't know what you're buying. This truck set right. It drove up and down the road good, and it had this bad of a ball joint in it. You would have never known that was that bad had I not seen it. So it's just a wonder somebody's not got hurt with that. But anyway, drove it to town earlier. It done great. I'm not going to touch the gas. You can see how good this truck starts. I mean, that old carburetor is just right. It's got just a little baby exhaust leak on those headers. But the old truck just runs so good. It's not a hot rod. It's got good power. You could probably burn the tires if you just wanted to. I really don't see any sense in it. It's just a damn big old four-wheel drive truck, but it just runs good. It's such a good truck. But anyway, guys, just wanted to kind of show it to you, update you on it. I apologize. I wanted to do some videos kind of showing you what I was doing, but this thing was just such a cluster. I did not want to get into that. So, and again, it's hard for me, guys. A lot of guys that have these YouTube channels, they, you know, have people that video them. You know, they kind of walk around with the camera. They have really good tripods and stuff. I have tripods, but they kind of get in my way. But I'm trying, guys. Hopefully throughout the spring and summer my videos will get better. That's one other thing I need to do to the truck. I need to put a master cylinder on it. This one's a little spongy, but as long as this old truck's set, it's hard to complain, guys. This is one of those that really hasn't fought me very much, other than, you know, just stuff that someone's rigged up on it. But you can just hear how good that old carburetor runs. It's not sputtering. It's not overloading. It's not trying to flood out. I've got my tag up in the back window there, but the truck is registered. It's got insurance on it. I'm going to drive this truck prior to me selling it. I don't like to sell anything that I don't know nothing about. There ain't nothing that will scare people away more so than if they catch you in a lie. I know I've caught a lot of people in lies trying to sell me shit. That'll run me off quicker than anything. You can see the mud, just how much rain we've got here. But anyway, I like to be able to be upfront and honest with people. I like to be able to tell them, you know, this is a good running, driving truck. Hit the road, go wherever you want to go in it. Sometimes I put a little more time and money in them to get to that point than I should, but hey, it is what it is. Guys, I'm going to hush. I got to get Moon Pie back in the garage. It looks like we're going to have some more bad weather, so I want that truck back in the garage. If something's going to take a tree limb across the roof, I'd rather it be this, as bad as I hate to say it. But I appreciate you watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. See you later.